Tonight on CFTK-TV News, we look at a local terrace sporting event happening in June. Williams Lake might end up imposing a state of emergency, and BC is supporting other regions affected by serious wildfires.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cale Maslin, and here's what's making the news in the Northwest and beyond for today. The Kitimat RCMP has put out yet another new report that detailed what crimes/incidents they encountered during the majority of the final days of May. One part of the report detailed how some officers conducted some vessel safety checks at a local marina, and they looked at about 10 vessels in total. The most common thing that was found wrong with the boats was them having expired PDFs, while some others needed to get updated safety gear or had missing items like flares and valid fire extinguishers. Up next is a report on a local sporting event that is set to happen sometime within the next month or so. At the end of June, the Terrace Sportsplex will serve as the location where Taekwondo practitioners of various ages will have a day to test their skills, as a one-day tournament is being hosted here by a local dojang known as Atlantis Taekwondo.
Well, we're hosting the BC Cup for Taekwondo, so it'll be all of BC and some of Alberta as well. I'll be coming to compete, so right from young kids, white belts, to men and women, black belts competing in sparring and patterns, and yeah, it's open to the public, so it'd be awesome if people came by and checked it out.
The official date of the tournament is June 28th, and it's set to start at around 9 a.m. with it lasting about until 5 p.m. More information about the tournament can be found on Atlantis Taekwondo's Facebook and Instagram pages online, or on posters put up around the city of Terrace. This tourney is also happening not all that long after Atlantis Taekwondo came back from competition elsewhere.
Yeah, we just got back from nationals, took a few students, Miss Rogers, Mr. Karchenko, and Memphis Bob, and Miss Rogers got gold in sparring, so it was quite the feat. And then Mr. Karchenko, he got bronze in sparring, and Memphis Bob got bronze in sparring as well.
And of course, the folks here at Atlantis Taekwondo are hoping that as many people as possible will come out to the tournament at the end of June. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cale Maslin. Plagued by public safety issues, the city of Williams Lake is looking at imposing a local state of emergency. It could happen as early as this weekend, but as CTV's Michelle Bernoro reports, not everyone is in favor of taking such a drastic move.
Fires in both of the dumpsters here at our seniors' home.
This Williams Lake councillor fed up with crime in his community.
The problem is that you've got people on the streets that simply are so out of it, they don't even know their own name.
He says from suspected arsons to open drug use to people defecating on the streets.
People crap on the streets and then they wipe it all over the door handles of the businesses. And this is a daily occurrence.
Williams Lake is in trouble.
Crime and the amount of vandalism, the amount of drugs, the amount of overdoses, has skyrocketed, and it's out of control.
Council now looking at imposing a local state of emergency.
Anybody that's basically needing assistance in terms of mental issues and drug addiction issues, they're going to be assisted by taking them to the hospital and asking for involuntary treatment.
But not everyone believes a state of emergency is warranted, saying many other BC communities are facing similar challenges.
It's happening everywhere, and I feel that as we're watching it increase here, it's increasing in a lot of different places. So I'm not sure if this qualifies for an emergency, and I'm not sure if it qualifies for special powers.
The problems plaguing Williams Lake raised in Victoria Thursday.
How has this premier allowed Williams Lake to descend into what is now pure and utter chaos in our community?
We reach out directly to mayor and council and have a call with the mayor directly today.
But help can't come soon enough, says this councillor.
Fire department came out again this morning.
Who's calling for immediate action to protect his community. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Coming up next, a day of mourning occurred after a bus crash killed a young boy. Welcome back. BC is stepping up its support for regions affected by devastating wildfires. The province figures a total of 250 personnel plus equipment-based resources will be in prairie provinces and in Ontario sometime within the next 72 hours. CTV's Yvonne Raymond reports.
Neighboring provinces ravaged by wildfires won't fight them alone.
British Columbians know all too well the devastating impacts that wildfires can occur in our province, and our thoughts go out to all those that are impacted. It's why we've got a very strong working relationship with other provinces and are in a position to be able to provide resources, because we know that when trouble hits home here, other provinces have been there to support us as well.
Some of the largest evacuations are in Manitoba. 17,000 people have been forced to leave their homes, with over a quarter of them coming from the city of Flin Flon, near the Saskatchewan border.
The important thing is that I got out, same with my family, and to be honest, I was terrified. I really was.
We feel kind of scared on what's going to happen for us in the future. We weren't ready.
BC's Minister of Forests says 250 firefighters from the province will be on the ground in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario by the end of this weekend. Members of the island's Coastal Fire Centre are among them.
While we are supporting other provinces and we are enacting open fire prohibitions this weekend, we are maintaining enough resources to address any incidents that should come up in the coastal area.
The province is getting ready to release a seasonal outlook as we near our hotter months.
Now is the time for you to be fire smart and to fire smart your communities.
And he hopes for rain through June. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News.
There was a day of mourning in West Vancouver following a tragic bus crash, which left a 4-year-old boy dead. The shocking collision also badly injured both his mother and another woman. CTV's Martin McMahon has more from Horseshoe Bay, including a message from the grieving family.
A memorial is growing near the bus stop where a TransLink bus jumped the curb just outside the Horseshoe Bay ferry terminal Wednesday afternoon. People have been stopping by to drop off flowers. That includes some students who witnessed the crash and returned to the scene today, along with their teacher.
Wanted to try to model some healthy grief, and so I bought some flowers and asked them all to take a piece and share a thought for Mom and for the boy that's lost.
West Vancouver's acting mayor is still in shock. The crash happening just down the street from her home.
We are absolutely devastated, and our heartfelt condolences go out to the families involved, the bystanders, and the first responders, which are often overlooked, the trauma to them in a situation like this.
Police say they have spoken with the bus driver and are looking into whether criminality was involved. No updates provided since the initial news conference Wednesday evening. The crash happened in a very busy area, traumatizing those who saw it.
I saw the hubcap, the bus front go fly, and I heard screaming, and it was just horrible. I'm going to have nightmares.
The bus has since been towed from the scene so police can analyze it.
This is a serious, life-changing event for the victims, their families, witnesses, and many others.
I've talked with a family friend who says the mother has undergone 8 hours of surgery. The family wants to extend their gratitude to the staff at Lions Gate Hospital and Vancouver General Hospital, and of course to the first responders. They also want to say they're thinking of the bus driver and wish him the best in the circumstances. And there's also a request to the general public just to respect the family's privacy and the ongoing investigations. Martin McMahon, CTV News, West Vancouver.
The NDP flexed its one-seat majority to pass controversial legislation to fast-track major projects. It's been a rocky road, with Indigenous leaders and environmental groups slamming the government for both Bills 14 and 15. The opposition staged some last-minute drama to make their point. CTV's Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum has the story.
The chair must make a casting vote.
They were dramatic votes decided by the thinnest margin, controversial Bills 14 and 15 passing, thanks only to the House Speaker, NDP MLA Raj Chauhan, breaking the tie.
Bill 15, Infrastructure Projects Act, has been read third time and has passed.
The votes deemed confidence matters that could have toppled the government if they didn't pass. The bills aimed at fast-tracking energy and infrastructure projects become law. but are both already immensely unpopular.
A disrespect to all the people that spoke against it, all the nations that spoke against it, municipalities that spoke against it, and environmental organizations that spoke against it.
And Bill 14 nearly failed. One NDP MLA, Rick Glumac, voting virtually, had a blurred background, a point of contention for the Conservatives, who noted the rules restrict a virtual background. The House Speaker ruling the mistake wasn't fatal to the outcome, a decision that triggered outrage by the Conservatives, who stormed out in protest.
And he has seriously shaken our confidence in his ability to carry on with that job.
The NDP say the Speaker did his job correctly, and the controversial bills will be good laws.
But we made it clear that we want to get things done in this province. The public expects us to be doing that.
15, undemocratic. Bill 15, betrayal.
But protesters launched a sit-in at Energy Minister Adrian Dick's Vancouver office.
It feels like a betrayal. Bill 15 passing feels like a betrayal.
And Indigenous leaders continued to express anger they weren't consulted on the laws. Former NDP cabinet minister and the first female First Nation MLA, Melanie Mark, calls it a step back in reconciliation.
We're going to build things by working together, not ramming through projects and bypassing Indigenous consent.
First Nations have said legal action and protests are likely. So controversy sparked Wednesday night might just be the beginning of the uproar over the legislation.
The risks are real and they're potentially significant, and we won't know for some time whether they do in fact step on one of those landmines and just how bad the damage is if they do.
And now we take a look at both your nightly and weekly weather forecast. On the north coast, the nightly forecast calls for periods of rain plus a low of 10 degrees, and the rest of the week will be mostly cloudy and rainy with possibly a flash of sun and a high bouncing from 10 to 13 degrees. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, tonight's forecast expects to see rain and a low down at 8 degrees, while the weekly forecast predicts one sunny day sandwiched between mostly rainy days, with a high that shifts between 13 and 17 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, the forecast for tonight is expecting a chance of showers with a low of 3 degrees, while their forecast for the rest of the week also has a sunny day in the middle of mostly cloudy and rainy days, and their high should move from 14 to 22 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. On Highway 16, they have construction work, bridge maintenance, utility work, road maintenance work, ditching, a couple of special events planned, and the Usk Ferry is dealing with a couple of potential delays. Highway 118 has shoulder maintenance and roadside brushing, Highway 37 has bridge construction and frost heaves, and Highway 37 is still dealing with falling rocks between west of Biziadin and east of Stewart. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, BC's Attorney General is trying to get the criminal code changed. Welcome back. BC's Attorney General has sent a letter to her federal counterpart in Ottawa asking for specific changes to the criminal code that would make it harder for violent repeat offenders to be let out on bail. One family that's been pushing for justice reform since losing a loved one to violent crime is hopeful, but also skeptical that changes will actually happen. CTV's Shannon Patterson has this story.
It's been nearly a year since Tori Dunn was stabbed to death in her Surrey home. Adam Mann, who was charged with her second-degree murder, was out on bail for numerous unrelated charges when he allegedly attacked the 30-year-old business owner.
He was deemed 76% likely to reoffend in a violent way,
and they let him out knowing that.
We want to make sure that the system has the tools necessary to work towards detaining these people that are repeatedly offending and being released and causing more harm.
On Wednesday, BC's Attorney General sent this letter to her federal counterpart, outlining proposed changes to a criminal code bail provision called the principle of restraint.
So what that is, that we don't hold them unless there's a good reason to, that we should strengthen those laws to say that this person, because of their lack of respect for the law and their violence, should be held instead. So I presented 3 ideas for changes to the criminal code that we think will do that.
I do think that that's a good starting point. I just think that it's such a long time coming, and there has been no action thus far. We've written letters. I mean, last year when Tory was murdered, all the MPs got together and wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, and to my understanding, it resulted in somebody in his cabinet tweeting back that the onus is now back on the provinces. So it's been a lot of back and forth.
Sharma is optimistic this time the federal Attorney General is ready to act.
I've had so far positive meetings with Minister Fraser, and I was pleased to see that it made it in the throne speech as well, that bail reform and action on this issue is a priority for that government.
I mean, obviously something needs to be changed, and I think it needs to come from both the province and the federal government, and it needs to happen right away.
For the Dunn family, Tory's murder has shattered their faith in the justice system and their sense of security.
I'm scared to walk my dog. I'm scared to, I'm scared to lose my husband in a crowded room. I walk by strangers and wonder if, they could murder somebody. I do think that the damage is done, but I would love to see nobody else have to go through this.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
Homicide investigators are pleading for information to solve the 2019 murder of a notary public in Richmond. A $10,000 cash reward is also being offered. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, police say the man had no known ties to the criminal underworld, making the motive behind his death a mystery.
Nearly 6 years after a Richmond notary public was found dead in his office under mysterious circumstances, police are revealing few details about the investigation, but now say there is a $10,000 reward for information that could lead to the killer or killers. On the evening of October 18, 2019, a family member found 58-year-old Stephen Chong dead inside his office in the 8200 block of Granville Street in Richmond. Forensics teams and homicide investigators descended on the area. 6 years later, police will not say how Chong died or if they have any solid leads or suspects in mind.
As the investigation is ongoing, I can't provide too many details about that to ensure a fair prosecution in the future.
According to investigators, Chong had no criminal record and no known underworld ties. Police have not ruled out the possibility he was killed in relation to his work as a notary. The Society of Notaries Public of BC is offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest and charges in Chong's murder.
He was a well-respected legal professional known for his honesty, reliability, and as a person of integrity to both clients and fellow notaries. Stephen was a mentor and confidant to many in the legal community.
Anyone with information that could help police piece together what happened in October 2019 is asked to call investigators with iHit or Crime Stoppers. Ben Milger, CTV News, Surrey.
And not long after meeting with the premiers, Prime Minister Mark Carney will be meeting with world leaders at the G7 summit in Kananaskis. That is where a group of local students and some local scouts have been working to try and bear-proof the area as part of a federal legacy project. CTV's Tim Bruck explains.
G7 preparation work is well underway in the Kananaskis village. But Thursday, some of the most important work is happening in the forest. If all goes according to plan, it'll last a lot longer than the other summit projects.
We are here clearing Shepherdea bushes, buffalo berry bushes, from the areas immediately around the hotel and the staff residences and a main trail in Kananaskis village.
More than 200 local teens have been digging up and chopping down buffalo berry bushes in an effort to steer wildlife clear of this space.
There's lots of berries out in the forest that they can eat, that they don't need the ones right next to the building.
During the G8 summit here in 2002, a bear ventured too close to leaders in a tree and had to be tranquilized. It died after falling to the ground. These berries are still about a month away from blooming, so this time security fences will have to do the deterring work. This digging will benefit those who come long after any delegates do.
Well, I think it's great that we get to come out here and enjoy the nature, and I think it's a great opportunity with this weather.
It's really tiring, you know, wielding, this is like a 10-pound axe, just hucking it at the ground, you know, chopping down all these bushes, but it's a good workout, good exercise, so it's nice.
And what high school students wouldn't skip class to swing an axe for a couple hours?
I'd probably be in my bio class in my physics doing some sciencey stuff, but I'd rather be out here.
This is still educational, and if all goes according to plan, it should help keep bears from the village for up to a decade. Tim Brook, CTV News, Kananaskis.
And now we turn our attention to how the stock markets are looking as of today compared to yesterday. The Canadian dollar is up 25/10 of a cent, the price of gold is down $28.50, oil is down 15 cents, natural gas is down 7 cents, aluminum is down $11. In Toronto, the TSX is down 35.51 points, the Venture Index is down 2.48. In New York, the Dow Jones is up 54.34 and NASDAQ is down 62.10. Still ahead is a look at a new documentary that stars a Humboldt Broncos bus crash survivor. Welcome back. A new documentary starring a survivor of the 2018 Humboldt bus crash had a special screening in Regina earlier this week. It follows Ryan Stresnitsky's journey with adaptive sport as he works to make Team Canada for the Paralympics. CTV's Wayne Mantika has the details.
Ryan Stresnitsky attended a packed house premiere for a television series called Were Broncos.
It's been 7 years since the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, where 16 people lost their lives and 13 were left injured. It's something that I think about every day.
Initially, Stresnitsky was hesitant to participate in the series.
The more I thought about it, the more I thought it could be good exposure for adaptive sports, my journey, and then kind of a thank you to let people know that from their support, I was able to be in this position now and continue to strive for the Paralympics.
The 6-part series documents the partially paralyzed hockey player's attempt to make the national sled hockey team and an unexpected turn.
So I got cut from the national sled hockey team, and my entire life revolved around getting cut from sport teams. So I knew that the next step was continue to move forward. That's all I was ever taught. My dad taught me that. And so my next path forward, my next open door was wheelchair basketball.
The series airs Monday nights on the AMI cable channel and streams on AMI+.
And so one of the things that we've been able to do is work across Canada with production companies reflecting content with people with disabilities.
The series is the creation of Regina television producer Lucas Frisson.
And have a personal connection to the Humboldt crash because I was best friends with Mark Cross, the assistant coach who died in the crash. So, you know, it's always something that's been close to me, and I've always followed Ryan's journey from afar. And
Stresnitsky is pleased with how the television series turned out.
It's a part of life. It's something that happened that I wish I could take back, but you know, life moves forward, and you try to live your best life and do it in memory of them and everyone that we lost that day. So it's a lot of mixed emotions, but a lot of it's like that push and that drive to move forward for them.
Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
That's all our news for now. From all of us here at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cale Maslin, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.